he could have ended up signing with the Chicago Bears, which is their arch rival of arch rivals.
All right, now we're going to the NFL standings in the AFC East. The Pats at 5-2, Jets still hanging in. They're 4-3. Buffalo Bills now they're making a run at second place at 3-4. Dolphins stuck in the muck at 2-4. In the AFC North, the Bungles and the Steelers both 5-2, tied for the lead. Of course, the Steelers have a bye week this week, and the Ravens are in third place at 3-3. And the Lonely Browns are at 1-6. AFC South, Colts undefeated 6-0. Texans 4-3. Now they're making a run for the wild card. Jaguars 3-3, and the Titans 0-6. AFC West standings: Broncos at 6-0. Chargers second place 3-3. Raiders 2-5. Chiefs 1-6. And Rob, ever since last week, there's been quite a few things that have stirred up in the AFC, mostly with the Buffalo Bills. Now all of a sudden they're almost getting close up with a wild card.
Could be. I mean, the Pats had a huge win, sticking with the AFC East over the pond in London, England, of course, against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And as far as the AFC East is concerned, I still think it's going to be the Pats going all the way. Imagine if the Packers signed Tom Brady as their quarterback and he ends up in New England. Ooh, as you said. AFC North, Bengals and Steelers. It's still the Steelers. I don't care who the Bengals are. I'm sure the real Bengals are going to show up this year as they did in the 2005 playoff against the Steelers. And the real Carson Palmer will show up that we've come to know over these last few years is going to show up. The real Chad Ochocinco, whatever the heck he wants to be called, who will show up. The real Chris Henry will show up. And the real Marvin Lewis will show up. And the real Steelers will show up. Well, they have been the last couple of games. Did you see their defense against the Vikings that saved our butt to win it, to go into this bye week 5-2? It's only the beginning, folks. It's only the beginning.
If you need a refresher, the defense scored 2 touchdowns, a fumble returned by Lamar Woodley, and an interception returned by Kieran Fox. And the fourth quarter, I gotta tell you, that defense, and then the very last play, James Harrison sacked Brett Favre. That defense is really starting to show what it's capable of doing in the last few weeks.
Tell me about it. That's all I have to say. Not to mention the fact that they've been a horrible fourth quarter team all season. And again, you ain't seen nothing yet from this team. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Alrighty, we're going to jump over to the NFC now. In the AFC East, the Giants still lead despite back-to-back losses, 5-2. Eagles 4-2. Cowboys tied with them 4-2. And the Lonely Redskins 2-5. NFC North, Vikings still lead at 6-1. Packers right behind them at 4-2. Bears at 3-3. Detroit Lions 1-5. NFC South, Saints still undefeated 6-0. Falcons 4-2. Of course, they'll still be facing off in an offensive fireworks show. Panthers rebounding now 2-4. Buccaneers still 0-7. NFC East, NFC West, sorry. Please excuse me. Things have flip-flopped there. Now the Cardinals lead at 4-2. 49ers 3-3. Seahawks 2-4. And the Rams 0-7. You got it, Rob? Still think the Cardinals can still be the class of the NFC?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've said this before, and I'll say this 1,000 times. In terms of the Cardinals, as long as that offense is run by that quarterback, Kurt Warner, that running back, David Hightower, those two wide receivers, Anquan Bolden and Larry Fitzgerald, not to mention the third being my dear friend and former neighbor from up the bridge from me, Steve Breston. He lived in North Braddock. I live in North Braddock. There's a bridge here. I'll explain it on another show. And with that defense, which includes Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, And, of course, that coaching staff led by Ken Whisenhunt, the Wizard. Again, I don't think they have what it takes to win the NFC West. I think they have what it takes to win the NFC West and the NFC. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but, you have the Saints, and you have the Vikings, and you have the Giants all leading their divisions. The Giants barely, and the Cardinals barely as well. But I still say at this point, so I forget the Saints are 6-0 as well. But the Cardinals, I'm just in awe of their offense. Have been since last year in the Super Bowl. They almost won the Super Bowl had it not been for the toe tap by Santonio Holmes, the MVP of the game. And they're just incredible. Ken Whisenhunt's incredible, has been. And let's not forget Russ Grimm as well, the OC there, the offensive coordinator, is in Arizona. But again, they're one of the classes of the NFC, and they're the class in the NFC West. And we'll see what happens as we approach, hard to believe, the second half of the season, which begins next week.
Yeah, another season flying by, and there's been a lot of action. But right now, one of the games that I find very interesting, the Saints will battle the Falcons, which should be an offensive fireworks show over the place. Rob, how many points do you think that points will be scored between the Saints and the Falcons?
Lots. Let's not forget that defense and offense, rather, in New Orleans as well, with some quarterback named Drew Brees and some running back named Reggie Bush. I mean, did you see the touchdown, the exciting leaping touchdown run that he had against the Dolphins? I did. I was at my sister's house. They have NFL Sunday Ticket from DirecTV.
I was watching the replay of that. All I saw was him flying toward the end zone.
He looked like, those ballet dancers?
Like Lynn Swan.
He must have went to the Lynn Swan School of football running on account of, seriously, he had some pep in his step there. I mean, to the point where he ought to take up ballet if he hasn't already, or at least hang out with Lynn Swan and get some tips from him if he hasn't already. But as far as the score, I say it may end up being the Saints by a touchdown and a field goal.
Alrighty, now we're going to go up to the NFC East again. Eagles and Giants, 1 game separates the two. Giants have dropped 2 games. Eagles have dropped 1 game against the Bears, but they rebounded with 1 win. And what's with the Giants? Back-to-back losses?
Unbelievable. Thankfully, the Yankees are in the World Series as well as the Phillies. So neither New York can care about football at this point. Hopefully they do. They care about all sports. But you got a guest coming in. Charlie Glassmeyer, how are you? Charles Glassmeyer, one of the instructors of the computing workshop. But as far as I'm concerned with that matchup, with those two teams, they have explosive offenses. The Giants are led by their quarterback, Eli Manning. The Eagles, with Donovan McNabb, not to mention Michael Vick, who's kind of a person that's a bullpen quarterback. You know what I mean? He works in the bullpen, kind of like the Phillies. They're known for their bullpen. They're so much known for their bullpen. MLB Network came up with a series this year called The Pen. You may want to see MLB Network for that, but it's going to be interesting. Let's not forget about the Cowboys and their quarterback, and Tony Romo, and Marion Barber continuing with the offense, and a couple other guys. Who needs T.O. in Dallas?
And also Roy Williams and Felix Jones.
Roy Wood, doesn't he play for the Bungles?
Roy Williams, he's still there in Dallas.
Oh, it must be another. The defensive Roy Williams is in Cincinnati. But it's going to be an interesting show now. Interesting to see what comes out in the NFC East. I still say it's going to be the Giants. I still say they may prevail, and dare I say this, the Eagles may end up being the wild card as well as the Cowboys. They have to. If the Yankees can get to the World Series in their new Parthenon